Hello, welcome to the P6 worksheet. In this worksheet, we are working on what we call evaluate our expressions. And when we evaluate simply means get a value for. But in order to be able to get a value, we need to actually have numbers, not variables. Well, the nice thing about these questions on this worksheet is, yes, they give us some variables. They have an m minus p or a j plus h over 2 and so forth. But what we end up having is numbers to replace those variables with. So as long as we have numbers, we can evaluate. We can get answers that are numbers. So what we do is we simply rewrite m minus p, but instead of putting an m, we're going to put the number that it's equal to. So we make the m a 5, and we make the p a 2, and we make this p a 2. And so we end up with 5 minus 2 minus 2. Order of operations says do the first subtraction and then the second subtraction. So 5 minus 2 is 3. Bring down the minus 2 here. 3 minus 2 is 1. Here's our result. On question number 3. Once again, we're doing the same thing. We're going to replace the h with a 2 and we're going to replace the j with a 5. And so this problem becomes 5 plus, and then the place of the 2 in h we get a 2 divided by 2. So we end up with an addition and a division problem here. This is where we have to start thinking about, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, right? PEMDAS. We don't have any parentheses. We don't have any exponents. But we do have division. Multiply, divide, we have division. We're going to do that first. We divide first. So we end up with 5 plus 2 divided by 2 is 1. And then we can add together, we get an answer of 6. All right, we're replacing the m's with 4. We're replacing the p with 2. So we end up with 2 plus 4 minus 4. And if we follow the order of operations again, remember everything here is add and subtract. They're equal in power, so I don't subtract before I add. I don't add before I subtract based on the fact that they're add and subtract. But the fact that add comes first in the problem, I do it. So 2 plus 4 is 6. 6 minus 4 is 2. There's my result. And we get slightly more complicated here as we go in and replace the a with a 3 and the b with a 5. The thing we have to remember here is, what does it mean when we have two variables next to each other? So of course we're going to replace this b with a 5. We have the 5 plus. But this b and an a next to it means we have 5 times 3. Now we have to put the times sign in here when we have numbers involved. We don't have to put the times sign in there when we have variables involved. Just the way that it works. And so now we have addition, we have multiplication. Of course, multiplication comes before addition in the order of operations. So we are going to multiply first. 5 times 3, get 15. 5 plus 15 is 20. And there's our result. And last but not least, number 9. In place of the x, we're going to put a 6. In place of the y's, each y gets a 5. So we go 5 minus, parenthesis, 6 minus 5, close parenthesis. Now, order of operations says do parentheses first. Well, we're going to do inside the parentheses first. So this problem becomes 5 minus 6 minus 5 is 1. And now I can do 5 minus 1 and get an answer 4. That's our results. Your job is to do the even side. Send that in to me, and we'll get you rolling on the reassessment. Good luck.